What if I told you that you could retire abroad in Europe for a lower cost of living, better quality of life, and better quality healthcare? For many people, retiring in Europe feels like the ultimate dream. You while away the days sipping coffee or wine at an outdoor cafe, watching the world go by, and wondering what took you so long to get there. I'm Kristin, and I've spent the last 20 years helping people move abroad, primarily to Europe. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 8 of the best places to retire in Europe, all for less than $3,000 per month. You'll hear the pros as well as the cons, plus what actual retirees say about living in these destinations. Let's begin. Would you be interested in living in a European country where you can experience a sunny, warm climate year-round and many people speak English? Welcome to Cyprus, the Mediterranean island that most retirees overlook. Cyprus combines postcard-perfect coastline with surprisingly affordable cost of living. You can live comfortably there on around $2,000 per month for a single person or $3,000 for a couple, including rent, utilities, and dining out. Rent a studio or one-bedroom apartment here for €600 to €1,200 per month, and you may be able to find even more affordable rents from €400 to €500 in Paphos and Larnaca. Utilities run about €100 to €150 per month, and a meal for 2 at a seaside taverna, around €40 to €60 with drinks or €15 for a casual meal. One thing that many people don't expect about Cyprus is that English is widely spoken, and this is because Cyprus was a British colony between 1925 and 1960. So there's also a lot of tourism in Cyprus, so you can expect to be able to speak English at places like restaurants, hotels, bars, government offices, and also doctors' offices. I checked the stats, and it looks like about 3/4 of the population in Cyprus speaks English along with their native languages. When it comes to real estate, housing options range from modern apartments in Limassol to traditional stone houses to luxurious seafront villas. Properties here start from around €200,000, but you can definitely find deals in less touristy areas. On the downside, Cyprus doesn't have a traditional retirement visa, so to be able to move here, you'll have to do something like their golden visa, which requires an investment of at least €300,000 in real estate. Cyprus offers a lot of benefits for their investors, so it's a way to go there and spend a little bit of time per year, or also to live there year-round. If you can swing it, you'll get EU residency, access to the healthcare system, and the freedom to travel throughout Europe. And after 8 years, you can apply for Cypriot citizenship. Even better, Cyprus offers favorable tax options for retirees who become tax residents. You can choose from a 5% flat tax on your foreign pension, or opt for the standard rates from 0 to 30%, depending on your income. Cyprus has both public and private health care, so if you do become a resident there, you can opt into the public healthcare system, but a lot of retirees decide to go for private insurance, which can be quite affordable, starting from around €60 to €100 per month. When it comes to climate, Cyprus enjoys over 300 days of sunshine per year, with mild winters and hot summers. It's perfect if you're seeking a beach lifestyle with easy access to hiking and the rest of Europe and the Middle East. An upside to living in Cyprus is that the expat community is very strong. You actually have a lot of permanent residents from a lot of different countries, a lot of British retirees, a lot of digital nomads from around the world who are passing through. So I really enjoyed my time there. I met a lot of really interesting people, foreigners and locals alike, and I loved the scenery. The infrastructure is really good. It's a very modern society, but at the same time, it does have some downsides. I mean, it can get really hot in the summer, and a lot of people have been mentioning that the last few years it's been getting warmer and warmer. It's also quite vulnerable to dust storms, so the air quality isn't the best, and it's not a place to go if you want to be able to pay 0 taxes, unless you're below a certain income threshold, and in that case it would be really difficult to qualify for that investment visa. One foreigner I saw online said that living in Cyprus for 20 years has been a positive experience. His family has experienced safety, good weather, and the sea, and relatively good private healthcare. It is an island, he mentioned, so technically we're always on holiday. But if the residency option in Cyprus is a little bit high for your liking, then you might be interested in the next destination on our list, which also has a very high quality of life. It's a little bit more expensive on a day-to-day basis, but it's also an English-speaking country. Imagine waking up to rolling green hills, stone cottages, and the smell of fresh soda bread from the local bakery. You spend your mornings walking along rugged coastlines, your afternoons in cozy pubs chatting with the locals, and your evenings watching the sunset over the Atlantic. This is Ireland, a country that feels like coming home, even if you've never been there before. Ireland actually ticks a lot of boxes when it comes to what you might be looking for in a European retirement destination. It's beautiful, it's safe, it has a very high standard of living, and it also is one of the highest ranked countries on the Global Peace Index. So very idyllic, peaceful surroundings, not too crowded in a lot of areas, and a lot of nature and just a nice, slow lifestyle. On the downsides, it's not known for having the best weather in the world, so it's going to be a little bit cooler and cloudier than Cyprus, for instance, but there's always trade-offs when you're thinking of moving to a new country. Another thing to keep in mind is that it's not cheap. Ireland has very expensive housing prices compared to a lot of countries in Europe. So whereas you might be able to get by for 2,000 or 3,000 euro a month as a couple, for example, in many countries on this list, in Ireland you're going to be closer to around 3,000 euro per month, maybe even up to 4,000 depending on what type of housing you get. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Dublin runs from $2,000 and up, but smaller towns like Killarney or Galway can be slightly more affordable. A benefit of going to Ireland is that you can rent instead of buy. They have a specific retirement visa called the Stamp 0 that you can qualify for with about 50,000 euro in income as a single person or 100,000 as a couple. And the catch here is that you don't have to buy a property to get approved for this visa, but you do have to show that you have enough money in the bank to be able to buy a property. So property prices going to start around 200,000 euro and up, but can be a lot more expensive in places like Dublin. Ireland has excellent public health care, but wait times can be long. I do see people complaining about this online sometimes. So for that reason, most expats opt for private insurance, which costs around $100 to $150 per month and gives you access to specialists. Ireland's climate is mild but rainy. Expect frequent drizzle and gray skies, especially in winter. But if you don't mind the weather, you'll be rewarded with lush green landscapes, friendly locals, and a strong sense of community. The Irish are known for their warmth and hospitality, and having traveled there a few times, I can certainly attest to that. The locals are so friendly that you can actually go up and walk up to people in the park or in cafes, and they will have a conversation with you. I actually have a video about it that I'll link to here where I just went up and talked to strangers on the street, and they were happy to sit down and talk with me or go for a walk, and I found it like that throughout the country, including Northern Ireland as well. But what do real people say who are living there now? Well, one British retiree wrote that you'd be surprised at how little it takes to pay your bills each month if you don't have a mortgage or kids. I have to say that I'm reasonably comfortable and I'm not worried about my finances at all, although I do live in the country, not Dublin. Now, if Ireland sounds good to you, but you're looking for something a little bit more economical, then you can live in our next location at half the price, with sunnier weather as well. Retiring in Greece is like stepping into a postcard that never ends. Whitewashed houses, turquoise seas, and a pace of life so slow, you'll forget what stress even feels like. Greece offers stunning islands, affordable living, and a Mediterranean lifestyle that prioritizes family, food, and the slow life. One of my clients who I helped move from the UK to Greece, he really wasn't sure about it at first. He thought he might miss his London lifestyle. He thought he might struggle to fit in and learn the language. But after a few weeks, he was feeling right at home. He was loving the weather. He met a lot of people and he was really enjoying his time there. and now he spends half of the year in Greece and half of the year in Southeast Asia. So he's completely avoiding those British winters. Another benefit of living in Greece is the low cost of living compared to many European countries. You can retire there on $1,600 to $1,800 per month for a single person, or $2,000 to $2,700 for a couple. Rent for a studio or one-bedroom apartment ranges from €450 depending on the location, although an Airbnb can be pricier at $1,500 to $2,000 per month. A meal for two here costs around €30 to €50, and you'll rarely tip more than 5%. Greece offers something called the Financially Independent Persons Visa specifically for retirees, which you can qualify for with a minimum income of at least €3,500 per month, or your currency's equivalent, and then 20% more for your spouse. The catch with this is that it has to be passive income, so you can't be working or running a business at the same time. And Greece also is one of the few countries left in Europe that offers a real estate golden visa in exchange for residency. Now, the prices for this visa have gone up over the years, and now you can get that if you invest at least €250,000 up to €800,000 in real estate there, but that price varies depending on where you buy. Properties in island villages can start around €80,000, while coastal apartments range from €150,000 to €300,000 and up. However, prices can double or triple in islands such as Santorini. Greece's healthcare system isn't known for being the best in the world, or in Europe for that matter, but it is comprehensive. It does have affordable copays, and then you also do have that option to get private insurance there. You'll find some of the best hospitals in places like Athens and Thessaloniki, some of the bigger cities in the country. And you can also opt into a private insurance plan there from around €60 to €100 per month. You'll also need that private insurance to be able to apply and get approved for that visa. For climate, Greece enjoys mild winters and hot, dry summers. The island offers endless beaches, hiking trails, and charming villages where the pace of life moves slowly. The Greek culture values community, family, and food. Long meals with friends, perfect for retirees who are seeking connection. On the downsides, Greece is known for having a slow bureaucracy. It's also been very vulnerable to climate change and wildfires in recent years, and it's certainly not a place where English is very widely spoken. So, as the saying goes, it's all Greek to me. It's quite a difficult language to learn, but if you're deciding to retire and live there long term, I think it's worth it. One expat said, "Living in Greece is very different than vacationing in Greece. It takes time to adjust, but your money goes a long way here, and the food tastes better." Now, if you're seriously considering retiring in one of these countries and you're thinking about doing a scouting trip or an exploratory trip first, then that's where today's sponsor, Airlo, becomes absolutely essential. Airlo takes all the stress out of staying connected while you're exploring potential destinations. No more waiting in lines at airports trying to buy a local SIM card, no more dealing with language barriers at phone shops, and definitely no more surprise roaming charges. With Airlo, you simply download the app, choose your country or region, and install your eSIM before you leave home. That way, as soon as your plane lands, you're connected. So you can call home, you can use Google Maps, navigate public transportation, anything you need without having to worry about data. Airlo has local eSIMs for specific countries like Portugal, Spain, and Greece. They have regional eSIMs that cover all of Europe, and they even have global plans. With Airlo, you can also keep your regular phone number for important calls, and then your eSIM handles all your data. Whether you're traveling on vacation, scouting retirement destinations, or already living abroad, Airlo makes staying connected simple and affordable. Download the Airlo app today using the link below this video or this QR code right here and save $3 on your first eSIM. Use the code Kristin3 to get your discount, and now let's keep exploring. Now, if you're looking for somewhere with a sunny climate, but also where people speak English, then this next destination might be for you. Now, when I first heard about people moving to Malta in the early 2000s, I actually didn't know where it was, and I had to Google the location. But eventually, I made it there for a visit in 2013, and I stayed for a few months to find out what all the fuss is about. I definitely see the appeal now. You've got really beautiful views, scenic vistas with this very blue water. It's a very friendly country. It's English speaking, and you'll find actually a lot of British expats there because it was a British colony. So you can't walk very far in places like Sliema and St. Julian's without bumping into some British expats enjoying the weather there. You'll see a lot of signs for English breakfast, a lot of pubs. So if that is down your alley, then Malta could be for you. Malta is a small island nation in the Mediterranean located between Sicily and North Africa. It's warm, safe, and quite welcoming to expats. The cost of living here is similar to Greece. A couple can live on less than $2,500 US per month, including rent, food, and utilities. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Valletta or Sliema runs from €1,200 to €1,500 per month, although you can find much more affordable properties in other parts of the islands. A meal for two costs around €50, and utilities are $60 to $150 per month. Malta has a dedicated retirement visa called the Malta Retirement Program, and this was designed specifically for people who have a pension. However, that pension will be taxed at a flat tax rate of 15%. So if you're thinking of moving to Malta, make sure that you get a good accountant there and then you understand the tax requirements. They also have another requirement where you need to rent a property at a certain price per year or invest in a property, and this can be either in Malta or in Gozo. So the minimum rent needs to be about €9,600 per year, or you could also buy a place. But the tax rates aren't too bad when you compare them to Spain, France, or Italy. Malta has excellent public and private health care. The public system is quite comprehensive and affordable, while private insurance will cost you around €100 per month and gives you access to very modern facilities with English-speaking doctors. Where Malta shines is with its climate, where you can enjoy over 300 days of sunshine per year, with mild winters and hot summers. The island is very small, just 122 square miles, so you're never far from the beach. The expat community is also very strong here with regular meetups, clubs, and social events. You can find it easy to make friends here, and the locals are genuinely welcoming. Now, a downside to living in Malta is that it is an island country, so a lot of people get island fever living there. You can't just hop on the train to go to other places. You will need to fly, but there are pretty affordable flights in Malta, especially around the region, so that shouldn't be a problem. Also, if you're a really big fan of nature, Malta is a limestone island, so there's not many trees. There's actually no rivers naturally forming in Malta, and they don't grow as many crops as other countries, so you definitely do perceive that lack of nature if that's something that you're moving to Europe for. The weather can also play a factor, although it is sunny for much of the year. If you're living in an older building, sometimes they don't have good insulation or they don't have good air conditioning and heating. I know when I lived there in a stone building, it felt a lot colder inside of my apartment than it was outside. So make sure to keep that in mind when you are looking for housing. However, people really like it there. One expat said, "Coming from Florida, Malta is an amazing place, charming and comfortable. It'll give you an experience and fulfillment unlike anything you'll find in the US. Come and see for yourself." Now, the next country on our list is one of my favorites. So if you'd like to feel like you're living in a Renaissance painting, this one could be for you. Italy doesn't just appear on postcards though, it is the postcard. And if you've ever dreamed of sipping espresso in a piazza, shopping at outdoor markets, and living surrounded by art and history, then Italy might just be your retirement paradise. I'll never forget my first time in Italy when I was 17 years old. It was my very first time in Europe, and my mind was completely blown, especially when it came to the food. I can remember so vividly every experience, from going through the airport immigration, arriving to the hotel and checking in, going with my mom to a real cafe to get an Italian espresso, standing up, drinking the espresso at the counter, and then pretty much all the food I ate, I have a very vivid recollection of, from my very first panini in a square in Rome to my first full meal there, which was a 4-course meal with arugula salad and fresh pasta, house wine, tiramisu for dessert. I mean, just amazing. And every time I go to Italy, it just reminds me of how beautiful and vivid the lifestyle is. When it comes to housing, Italy offers a diverse range of experiences, from living in the bustling streets of Rome to the tranquil villages of Tuscany and Umbria. A single retiree can live comfortably here on $1,600 to $2,000 per month, while a couple should budget at least $2,500 to $3,000 per month. Rent in Italy is 52% lower than the US on average. Apartments range from $800 to $1,200 in Tuscany or Umbria, and $600 in Abruzzo or Calabria. Groceries average around €400 per month, and a dinner with pizza, salad, and wine for two is still around €25 to €30. To retire in Italy, the country offers what's called the elective residence visa for retirees, and the income requirements here can vary depending on which consulate you apply at. So on paper, it might say, €31,000 minimum passive income from a pension per year, but some consulates might want to see 40,000, 41,000, 48,000. It really depends, especially if you're going as a couple versus a single person. Now, if that visa doesn't work for you, then Italy also has a pretty robust investment visa, which isn't a real estate golden visa, but with between €250,000 up to €2 million, you can invest in a startup, government bonds, company shares, or in a public donation. If you're looking to buy property in Italy, properties in the south start around $70,000 for fixer-uppers, while renovated homes in Tuscany or Umbria range from €250,000 to €500,000. Italy has also made headlines for its €1 homes in rural villages, but be prepared to shell out another €300,000 to €400,000 there in renovation costs. But once you're a resident, you can access Italy's public health care with pretty small co-pays, and the best hospitals are known to be in Rome, Milan, and Bologna. Italy offers incredible diversity, from the beaches in the south to the mountains in the north to the rolling hills of Tuscany. You can ski in the Alps in the morning and swim the Mediterranean by the afternoon. The Italian lifestyle also revolves around food, family, and community. Meals are long, social, and sacred. Life really moves slowly here, and that's the point. On the downside, Italy is known for its bureaucracy, which actually pulls down the rating of this country when it comes to any foreigners living there, whether you're going for work or you're retiring there. People really don't enjoy dealing with the Italian bureaucracy, but once you get through that, you can experience a better quality of life there. It's also not the optimal country when it comes to taxes, so the taxes can be high depending on where you live, although they do offer a 7% tax regime in certain parts of the country, so make sure you get with a really good lawyer or accountant to get all of your finances sorted if you're moving there. And finally, Italy is an economy that is partially tourism dependent, so especially in the summer, you're going to get a lot of crowds. It can also get pretty hot as well, so keep that in mind. Now, if you're looking for places to live in Italy, I do have a dedicated video on that, which you can watch next. But if you're looking for somewhere that has slightly better infrastructure and healthcare and also a more manageable bureaucracy, then the next country on my list might be for you. France is definitely one of the top 3 countries that my clients like to retire to. I think there's so much that's appealing about France, from all of the diversity. You can be on the beaches of Biarritz one day, you can be in the mountains of the French Alps, or you could speed around on a high-speed train, go from Paris to almost anywhere in the country. You've also got the French Riviera, Cannes, Nice, you can go into Monaco, Italy. There's really so much to see and do, and I think what really attracts people to the idea of living in France is just the beautiful surroundings, and it really has that like whimsical fairy tale feeling that makes you look around and pinch yourself. A couple can live in France on 2,500 to 3,500 euro per month, depending on the location. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment outside Paris runs 800 to 1,200 euro, and in Nice or Provence, expect closer to 1,400. But living in France is also practical because it does have a relatively low cost of living, despite what you might think about prices of hotels and things in Paris and the very luxury side of living in France. But on day-to-day life, I find the prices to be very manageable and very similar to most of the rest of Europe. I remember going to lunch at a vineyard in a chateau in Saint Emilion one day, and my lunch bill was like 15 euro, and I just could not believe it. I'm like drinking rosé in this castle, having like a 3-course lunch, and it was, cheaper than getting Uber Eats in Miami. So it is practical from a cost standpoint and also from a visa standpoint. They have what's called a long stay visa that can be a path to permanent residency and ultimately citizenship. And you can also get access to the public healthcare system, although the French government is planning on making changes for upcoming years so that foreigners will have to pay an annual fee to access that. But there's also private insurance as well. For places to live, France offers incredible diversity, from the sunny Riviera to the cool Alps, the rainy Brittany coast, and the wine country of Bordeaux. The French lifestyle values slow living, long meals, and quality over quantity. You'll find excellent public transport, walkable cities, and a strong sense of community. A challenge for living in France definitely has to be the language and cultural barrier. I think it's one of those countries that you really do need to invest some time and energy in learning the language if you want to be able to speak to the locals and really feel like a part of the community. And of course, France is famous for having, public strikes with workers, transportation, the train, the airport. So you might come across that once in a while, but it's not too disruptive to daily life. The next destination on our list is just across the Pyrenees Mountains. Spain is known for its warm days, late dinners, and an ease of life that retirees feel instantly. And once you experience it, you may wonder why you ever lived anywhere else. I have so many fond memories of Spain, from popping into bars for pinchos in San Sebastian, exploring local markets in Malaga, and experiencing all that Barcelona has to offer. From the art to the music to the sunsets and beaches, Spain has it all. The country offers 300 plus days of sunshine per year, excellent healthcare, and a cost of living that's 25 to 50% lower than the US. It's more affordable than France, Italy, Greece, or Malta. A couple can live comfortably here on 2,400 euro per month. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment ranges from 600 to 1,200 euro depending on the location. A meal out costs less than 15 euro or 40 to 50 for dinner for two. When it comes to how to live in Spain, they have what's called the non-lucrative visa, which was designed specifically for retirees, and you can't work or earn an extra income on this one. You'll need about 2,400 euro in monthly income to qualify. If you're looking to buy, properties here start around 150 to 250,000 euro on the coast, with inland bargains from 80,000 euro. Spain's public healthcare system is ranked in the top 10 worldwide, and you can also find access to English-speaking doctors, especially in places like Madrid, Malaga, and Valencia. Spain has diverse climates. Think hot summers in the south, mild winters on the coast, and cooler temperatures in the north. My favorite climate is definitely in the Canary Islands, where it's 70 degrees and sunny almost year-round. But what I think people really come to Spain for is the lifestyle. It's a place where community is very important, and also food and fun. If you're into the early bird dinner though, you might need to adjust a little bit, as people typically go out to dinner quite late there from 9 or 10 p.m. So that takes some getting used to. One expat said, "Spain is not like the US, as you can walk most places. Supermarkets and restaurants are everywhere, and if you don't want to own a car, living near a city center is best. If you live north or south of Alicante, you'll be surrounded by other retirees from all over Europe, as many people own summer homes here." I have so many fond memories of Spain. The first time I went there was back in 2012, and I went with my mom to Barcelona, but I've gone back for many years after that. I've been to Barcelona a few times now. I've been to San Sebastian, and it's a really beautiful area, walking the Camino de Santiago, popping in and out of bars, getting some pinchos or tapas, as you could call them. And, the Costa del Sol, the beaches of Malaga, it's another country very similar to France and Italy that just really has a lot of diversity of different climates and topography. Some of the challenges to living in Spain are definitely the weather. In recent years, it's gotten a lot hotter, and you'll often see heat warnings across the country, especially in the summertime and the interior. In the beach areas, the coastal areas, some places might not have air conditioning as well, so that's something to keep in mind. Also, people have been a little bit more cautious about going to Spain due to some of the anti-tourism, anti-foreigner sentiment due to rising costs, rising housing prices, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But my clients that are living in Spain don't tend to experience that very much. I think it's more something that you'll see in the media, but might not experience personally, although it's always something to take into consideration. But if you want Spain sunshine with even lower prices, then the next place on our list could be for you. Portugal has been ranked as the number 1 or 2 country in the world for retirees for many years running now, and here's why. Portugal offers stunning coastlines, historic towns, affordable living, and a welcoming culture. It's a place where espresso meets pastry. Someone will always greet you with a bom dia in the morning, and the weather is always nice and mild. Rent for a 1-bedroom apartment is 800 to 1,000 euro per month in Setúbal, 1,200 to 1,500 in Lisbon, and 900 to 1,100 euro in Porto. A seafood lunch with wine for 2 costs 25 to 35 euro, and a beer is 250 to 3 euro. Portugal offers a D7 visa for retirees, which requires a passive income of around $900 per month. And then if you're going with a spouse or a partner, you'll need another about $6,000 per year in income to cover that. You'll also need health insurance, a clean criminal record, and proof of accommodation. And if you're looking to buy, properties start around 150 to 200,000 euro in smaller cities, with Lisbon and Porto costing more, from 300,000 euro and up. Portugal's public healthcare system is excellent, with English-speaking doctors common in major cities. Private insurance is also available and provides near-instant appointments. You'll find that the hospitals in Lisbon and Coimbra are the highest rated. Portugal enjoys mild winters and warm summers with over 300 days of sunshine per year. The Algarve and Silver Coast offer beach living, while Porto and Lisbon provide urban charm. The Portuguese culture values family, community, and slow living. Locals are warm and welcoming, and expat communities thrive throughout the country. One of the biggest challenges to living in Portugal right now is definitely the rising cost of living, and especially the housing costs, which have been going up year after year, especially since Portugal had a real estate golden visa for a while, which has since been discontinued. But that's definitely a big one. But I think that what really attracts people to Portugal is the combination of all of the factors that it has. In one country, you've got a really amazing climate. You do have a moderate to low cost of living. You've got those sunny days. You've got a really strong international expat community, and also a lot of things to see and do. You have the beaches, you have Lisbon, like the cosmopolitan city. You have amazing food, you have the beaches and the water everywhere. And so ultimately, I think that's what attracts people to live there. But it's not all perfect, as one local Portuguese resident commented online. Portugal has an amazing lifestyle, yes, with sunny days, beaches, good food, and other aspects, but only wealthy foreigners can sustain that lifestyle. Some are saying that the dream became too popular and isn't what it was before. Do you agree with that? Well, if you live in Portugal, let us know. And also, if you've been thinking of moving to Portugal, but you've been hesitating over these reasons, then watch this video next, where I break down the actual impact that foreigners and Americans have had on the country in recent years. And if you'd like help moving to any of these countries or any others around the world, then feel free to reach out to my team and I at travelingwithkristin.com/relocation. I'll leave the link below, or you can scan this QR code right here. Thanks for spending time with me today. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.